Hello and welcome to the lunch edition of MBC News with me, Simeon Boyce. Our top stories this hour. The Malawi Congress Party 2024 convention closes with a call that elected leadership should help foster unity and strengthen the party to ensure victory in next year's general election. President Paul Kagame of Rwanda takes oath of office for another 5-year term. And the Super League of Malawi Sulom acknowledges resistance to its e-ticketing initiative during the first round of the TNM Super League. Thank you very much for joining us. The Malawi Congress Party MCP 2024 convention has closed with a call that the newly elected leadership should help foster unity and strengthen the party to ensure a victory in the next year's general election. Isaac Jali reports from Lero.
After 3 days of deliberations and electing new office bearers, the Malawi Congress MCP convention has finally come to an end. Closing the convention, President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, who is also leader of the Malawi Congress Party MCP, challenged those elected into various positions to avoid greed, but to work hard in serving the poor, to avoid sowing seeds of division in the party, and never to quit, for MCP wants to win the next election. Dr. Chakwera also implored on the new National Executive Committee members to ensure primary elections in readiness for the 2025 polls are conducted in an orderly manner. The President and MCP leader thanked party supporters who financed the convention, saying this is contrary to some ruling parties who he said used to finance party functions using public resources. Dr. Chakwera said instead, his administration is using public resources to transform Malawi through various development projects. Earlier, chairperson of the organizing committee of the convention, Kezi Msugwa, asked the delegates to approve a resolution allowing the party president and the new National Executive Committee members to co-opt into various positions of the National Executive Committee members based on various criteria, including gender considerations, regional balance, as well as religious affiliations. The convention, according to various speakers, will go down as one of the well-organized elective conventions in the country and sets exceptional standards for future conventions. Notably present at the closing ceremony were major contenders who did not make it in the just-ended elections, a sign that after the storm, the party remains united to move forward to achieve its goals. Isaac Jali, MBC, Lilongwe.
One of the highlights of the just-ended MCP convention is the hotly contested election of new office bearers of the party. Olive Pili paints a picture.
The 2024 MCP convention was opened on Thursday by President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, who is also president of the Malawi Congress Party. In his opening address, President Chakwera urged delegates to vote for a party executive that will serve the interests of Malawians and take the party to victory in the 2025 general elections. Delegates have since ushered in a new executive. President Chakwera was endorsed and opposed to continue leading the party for another 5 years. The hotly contested first vice president position was won by Catherine Gotani Hara, the current Speaker of the National Assembly. Another hot contest ensued on the position of Secretary General of the party. It turned out Richard Chimwendo Banda, former Director of Youth for the party, was the choice for delegates. The position of Treasurer General fell John Paul, while Information Minister Moses Konkuyo retained his campaign director position. The party's organizing secretary is Dels Gomba, while Jessica Bwila is back to the position of publicity secretary she once held. Director of Legal Services is George Katspatike, while Jane Sandeza is trusted to direct women affairs in the party. Stephen Baba Malondela is new Director of Youth, while Director of Elections remains Elias Chakwera. Director of Economic Affairs is Henry Mumba. Director of International Affairs is Patricia Kayinganangozo, while Director of Research is Ronald Chantunya. Director of Recruitment is in the hand of current First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Madalitso Kazombo, with Director of Political Affairs as Maxwell Cholera. Director of Strategic Planning is Usamba Dzonzi, and Maureen Bondo is Director of Social Services. Current Agriculture Minister Sam Kawale is Director of Public Relations, and Director of Religious Affairs is Annie Chibwana. Malawi Electoral Commission has since confirmed this lineup as true reflection of the will of the convention delegates. The convention delegates have since agreed that Party President Chakwera and the new executive should fill remaining positions within 30 days. Olive Piri, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Meanwhile, the former vice president of the Malawi Congress Party, Hale Mkandawire, has called for unity in the party after the elective convention. He said the focus for all members now should be working together to win the next year's general election.
First, I'm very happy that this far everything has gone on very well. Looks like it will be one of the most successful conventions that MCP has ever had. And I'm very pleased about that. Looking forward, we are focusing on 2025. That's terribly important. In as far as I'm concerned, the seat that we should protect is the seat of the state president. These positions at NEC, yes, they are important, but not very, very important. We want to make sure that the seat of the president is protected come 2025 when we go to elections. My take on this one is that we need to go back. As we go back, we need to reconcile. There were different people vying for positions. They were bad-mouthing each other. My appeal to them is that MCP is a family. There is no need for divisions. Our aim is to make sure that we win general elections next year. And for us to do that, we need to work together.
Vice President Dr. Michael Usi has challenged Malawians living in Rwanda to ensure that they invest back home their knowledge and resources for the betterment of the country. Dr. Usi was speaking when he met a cross-section of Malawians living in Rwanda. Dr. Usi further challenged Malawians living in diaspora not to participate in destroying the reputation of their home country. Dr. Usi held the meeting on the sidelines of his visit to Rwanda, where he is attending President Paul Kagame's inauguration this afternoon. The Lilongwe University of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Luana, has stressed the need for people in the country to diversify their food consumption patterns to deal with food shortage. A lecturer in food and nutrition at the university, Alexander Kalimbira, made the remarks in Lilongwe during a meeting aimed at discussing agriculture practices in Southern Africa. More in this report by Lonjezo Sodoka.
The multi-stakeholder dialogue on agriculture, which started on Tuesday, attracted delegates from various countries in the southern region of Africa, including Malawi. Issues such as food system transformation, food security, climate change, nutrition, environment and agriculture were discussed with hope to promote better dietary habits and a healthy nation in an effort to end hunger. Stakeholders from the academia also attended the conference. Associate Professor on Human Nutrition at Lilongwe University of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Luana, Alexander Kalimbira, said food security is not just about having enough and nutritious diet, but also having food that is acceptable. Kalimbira said it is high time Malawi as a country reduces the uptake of sima and focus on other components of diet.
There's a problem that we tend to eat certain foods too much, more than we should have been eating them. For example, our plate, when we cook nsima, the portion of nsima really overwhelms the entire plate, and with very little ndiwo side dish that comes along with it. That dietary pattern hasn't worked the last 60 years for this country. We have high rates of malnutrition because that kind of dietary practice and pattern is deficient of micronutrients, vitamins and minerals.
Civil Society Agriculture Network CSANET chairperson Helbert Chagona said the meeting has been beneficial to the country as a lot of issues such as agriculture nutrition related policies have also been highlighted for a possible consideration.
Coming down to Malawi now, we're looking at pathways, especially hunger and then dependence on SIMA, and said how do we change what's the behavior change we can really adapt and make these changes in order to make people eat nutritious food and not only rely on SIMA. But it has been very good 3 days looking at the policies and what other countries are doing in Africa.
The 4-day conference attracted about 200 delegates from more than 20 countries in Africa. Lonjeson Sodoka, NBC News, Lilongwe.
There is hope that the construction of dwelling houses for Cyclone Freddy survivors that were affected by Cyclone Freddy in the area of Traditional Authority Njema in Mulanje will restore their livelihoods. The recent visit by Habitat for Humanity and Portland Cement Company to the construction site revealed that some houses have reached window level, while others are near completion. Details in this report.
Mujiwa village was one of the hardest hit areas in Mulanje district during Cyclone Freddy in March last year. The devastating storm left many people, including Eliza Mlesa, without shelter. The situation prompted Habitat for Humanity organization to join government efforts in constructing houses for the survivors. The project has brought hope to Eliza Mlesa, who lost her 17-year-old son and 9 relatives. Habitat for Humanity Malawi, in collaboration with Portland Cement Company, aims to build 96 houses, with 37 already underway. Victor Muhango is the National Director for Habitat for Humanity.
Sponsors Habitat for Humanity was to help this community to recover by having decent shelter. So we started this project to provide housing to 96 families that were affected by the cyclone. Out of those 96, so far we have raised resources to help 37 households, which means we're remaining with 59. Out of those 37, we have received support from different partners, including Habitat for Humanity International.
Meanwhile, Portland Cement Company has contributed 600 bags of cement to support the construction efforts, whose initial work began last year. Violet Viriri is the Marketing and Corporate Affairs Manager for Portland Cement Company.
Made a commitment to contribute cement, raw materials, towards the building exercise. And today we are here just to witness the progress that is happening so far, but also to make a bit of a contribution towards the building exercise and to make sure that everything that we had planned together with Habitat for Humanity is indeed coming to materialization.
Habitat for Humanity requires about 1.2 billion kwacha to complete the project. According to the National Director, so far it has already raised half of the amount.
You are watching NBC News with me, Simeon Boyce. Remember, you can access all NBC digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top of the right corner of your TV screen. A reminder of our top stories. The Malawi Congress Party 2024 convention closes with a call that elected leadership should help foster unity and strengthen the party to ensure victory in next year's general election. President Paul Kagame of Rwanda takes oath of office for another 5-year term. And the Super League of Malawi Sulom acknowledges resistance to its e-ticketing initiative during the first round of the TNM Super League. Welcome back. Farmers in the country have been urged to practice farming which is market-oriented in order to improve their income. Mzuzu ADD Program Manager Anderson Chikomola said this when he officially opened the 6th Mzimba South District Agriculture Fair, which is taking place under the theme Market-Oriented Production as a basis for rural economic transformation. More in this report by Henley Haukea and led by Zomwe Milulu.
Two Nzimba-based organizations, Soils Food and Health Communities Organization, SFHC, Biodiversity Conservation Initiative, BCI, in conjunction with the Ministry of Agriculture, organized an agroecology workshop to analyze the existing gaps in the country's 19 agriculture policies at Ikwendeni in Mzimba North. Deputy Director for SFHC, Life Production, says promoting sustainable farming systems among smallholder farmers in the country has great potential to improve soil health, which is crucial in achieving food and nutrition security.
We want to treat the sickness of the soils by doing all the agroecological practices, and in so doing, this will give us diversified diets, which will help improve the nutrition and the food they will be eating. They will know who has grown it and how it was grown, and it will be free of other hazardous inputs.
Nzimba North District Crops Officer Mwiza Muntali emphasizes the need for households to consume nutritious and safe foods.
What is an absolute agroecologically produced food or crops, so that when we talk of the nutrition and the safety, have to go hand in hand.
Biodiversity Conservation Initiative BCI's projects coordinator Frederick Sanga says there is also need to promote and incorporate indigenous agricultural knowledge and practices.
For us to build resilient farming systems, we need to promote our smallholder farmers, to support them so that they can be using their own resources. We need to reduce the high dependency on external materials.
The organizations are promoting conservation of diverse plant and animal species, use of natural methods of pest and disease control, and reduction of over-reliance on synthetic fertilizers and other external resources to mitigate effects of climate change and rising cost of farm inputs. Chimwemwe Milulu, MBC News, Mzimba.
Over 200 families who have been affected by hunger as a result of Cyclone Freddy and the dry spell caused by El Nino-induced weather from Zomba Tondwe have received bags of maize and sweet potato vines. Imagine Africa and Permaculture Paradise Institute made the donation, which is worth 20 million kwacha. Details in this report. For over 3 years now, Imagine Africa and Permaculture Paradise Institute have been working with over 200 families from Group Village Chikapa in Zomba Tondwe on a number of interventions to address food shortage in the area. This includes the practice of permaculture and planting drought-resistant crops such as cassava and sweet potatoes, and the use of glycidia trees instead of fertilizer. However, the coming of floods as a result of Cyclone Freddy in 2022 and a drought caused by El Nino-induced weather in 2023 affected food production to the communities, hence the coming of the donation.
The initiative came following the catastrophes which hit this area. If you remember very well, these people of the southern Malawi were hit by Cyclone Freddy, followed by dry spells which affected their harvest. So as a project, we thought it was that we give them a starter pack of food relief and recovery items in terms of seeds and seedlings to help them recover from the shock, but also be able to bring back the gardens which got washed away by the floods and dried by the dry spells.
Commenting, Director of Imagine Africa, Chimwemwe Limani, says they are hopeful that the donation will energize the communities to continue with their work.
The aim is to make sure that they have food while they are working to raise seedlings in their nurseries, at the same time planting food forests and taking care for their agroforestry trees in their farms.
Some of the beneficiaries could not hide their appreciation. Despite these challenges, some of the farmers who are working with the two organizations have started reaping the benefits of the interventions. One of such farmers is Frank Chawanda from Senior Chief Jali, whose livelihood has been transformed through vegetable farming and the food forest. Simeon Boyce, NBC News, Zomwe. And an international Australian organization, Peter Fevary Foundation, says it will continue providing potable water to rural communities. Founder of the organization, Peter Fevary, said this in Nkota district after visiting some communities which have benefited from the boreholes his foundation have been sinking through Bridge IT Water Foundation in conjunction with Wildlife Environmental Society of Malawi, WESIM. Ludovico Nyirenda has more.
Communities Peter Fave and his wife Ziajin have been supporting, sang songs of appreciation for the project. The benefactors visited Chiutura village in traditional authority Malenga Chanzi, Kadamanja village in traditional authority Mponde, Materes village and Boa village in traditional authority Kanyenda in the district. Speaking after visiting the project sites, Peter Fave said he is impressed with the impact of the boreholes and has committed to continue with the project. Fave urged communities to be responsible in the maintenance of the boreholes once they get damaged.
I've been very, very impressed with the work that WESIM is doing, the work that the communities themselves are doing, getting together to maintain the wells. I think it's an excellent project and everyone's doing very well. My organisation will continue to support projects not just here in Malawi but within Africa. Particularly here though, we'll be focusing on water supply and we will continue that for 5 to 10 years.
Branch manager for Dwangwa WESIM, Rashid Marandura, said lack of safe water remains a major challenge in the district, especially among communities living near Nkota Game Reserve.
This project comes about in 2017 when we did a baseline survey where we realized that the people around Nkota Wildlife Reserve are having some difficulties in accessing the clean water. So far we have drilled about 6 boreholes and we have also maintained about 31 boreholes.
Group Village Headman Boa commended Peter Fave Foundation and WESIM for the support.
We are very happy we have received a borehole. Most time we are fetching water on the way. I can say it is not a good water.
During the field visit, communities performed some traditional dances. Ludovico Nyirenda, NBC News, Nkota.
And in sports, the Super League of Malawi, Sulom, has acknowledged resistance to its e-ticketing initiative during the first round of the TNM Super League. Despite this, Sulom has reported a substantial financial achievement with a total gross gate revenue nearly 700 million kwacha. Praise Majawa has compiled this report, read by Norbert Jameson.
The e-ticketing system, introduced in collaboration with sponsor TNM, was implemented at some venues during the league's first half. As the second round of the season begins this weekend, Sulom Vice General Secretary Donex Chilonga has disclosed that they have planned discussions with sponsors TNM to address the challenges and determine the future of the innovation.
We are actually engaging extra gear to make sure that we realize full potential of this e-ticketing. We would like to have 100% e-ticketing, and we are going flat out on the ground. Public awareness is actually going to be done so that at the end of the day, everybody is aware that nowadays football is something that should actually be generating money for the clubs, for the players, and e-ticketing is a way to go.
Meanwhile, top revenue earners in the first round, FC Binyasa Big Bullets, through their Chief Executive Officer Albert Chigoga, say that their significant earnings came largely from pre-sales rather than e-ticketing.
In terms of innovation in e-ticketing, we cannot say that it has actually made some huge strides in terms of the revenue, because as a football club, we, much as we have embraced this innovation, we feel that it is slowly gaining ground.
The second round kicks off this weekend with unbeaten Silver Strikers ruling the summit.
Well, that item wraps up this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. The Malawi Congress Party 2024 convention closes with a call that elected leadership should help foster unity and strengthen the party to ensure victory in next year's general election. President Paul Kagame of Rwanda takes oath of office for another 5-year term. And the Super League of Malawi Sulom acknowledges resistance to its e-ticketing initiative during the first round of the TNM Super League. For more on these and other stories, follow our online platforms, Facebook, X, and our website, mbc.mw. You can access all these digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. I am Simeon Boyce. Thanks for watching. Wishing you a lovely afternoon.